Hey everyone! This is going to be a video of my impressions of the Nier Automata demo. You heard that right, demo. It's so sad. Demos are so rare nowadays. If you're ever offered the opportunity of playing a demo, you should really play one. The reason behind this is that many developers believe that demos are detrimental to sales. A lot of the times in the past few years when demos were released, a lot of people would be complaining, and a lot of the times the demos wouldn't necessarily be representative of the whole game. I remember before 2004 when the Half-Life 2 demo came out. This is a very old example, but it's a good example. The game would take place in Ravenholm, where it's a small town infested by zombie head crabs. And a lot of people thought that that's how the whole game was going to be. They misinterpreted the game, and they thought that the whole game would be survival horror, when really it was more of an action-adventure game that had both zombies as well as generic soldier enemies. So I noticed a lot of the days, developers instead offered closed betas and trying to get people to complain as little as possible nowadays. They want to try to minimize the amount of negativity that they receive when they release a game. In fact, so if you're watching this video before the game is released, the demo for Nier is actually offered for free online. So I recommend that you start up the download, and in the meantime, watch this video while I wait for this download to finish. I'm not going to spoil any cutscenes as well. By all means, get your download started. When I was going to play this game, I was actually a little bit nervous. I was nervous because in my mind, I had remnants of my playthrough of Drakengard 3. Drakengard and Nier are part of the same franchise. In fact, if you don't know, the original Nier actually continues from one of Drakengard's endings. If you heard about Drakengard 3, you've probably heard about the numerous technical issues. It had a really atrocious frame rate issue. It's kind of like The Last Guardian that was released recently. It makes the gameplay very bad. And in a game that's hack and slash and that has a lot of action, having a button press that's delayed due to poor FPS, it makes the game very difficult to play and makes it very annoying. I played Drakengard 3 a few years later after it's released, and as I recall, I never found any patch that fixed these issues. It was very depressing. You'll be glad to hear that Automata has no frame rate issues. That's right, no frame rate issues. I tested it on both the PS4 Pro and also the original released PS4, and I was able to receive a constant frame rate. So this game was developed by Platinum Games. They've made in the more recent years Bayonetta and Metal Gear Rising. You know, those kinds of games. You know, if you've played those games in the past, you know how to characterize these games. They're hack and slash action games. They've made it for the more recent console generations. You can block moves, you can dodge them, you can even make combos to defeat massive amounts of enemies that appear on your screen. I miss that genre actually. In the old days, on the PS2 console, for example, you'd see many kinds of these games. You'd see Onimusha, Devil May Cry, God of War, and nowadays you don't see it nowadays. A lot of developers have tried to recreate and master the formula from the previous console generations, but I don't think they've been doing a particularly good job of that. For example, Devil May Cry was rebooted, and it didn't receive a positive reception at all. And now there's also going to be a God of War reboot, but I feel that they're simplifying the gameplay elements significantly to focus more on the storyline of the game. And I think that's a respectable approach, but it's also a risky approach, because they face the risk of alienating some of the old customer base. Back to the topic, hack and slash games, it's all about the gameplay. I feel like you can master the game over many playthroughs, and often there's lots of fun collectibles, not collectibles like lore related. There'd be collectibles related to mastering your character, like increasing their health or increasing their equipment, getting new equips, that kind of thing. And you can master the game over many playthroughs by completing more and more difficulty levels. When I started the game off the bat, I noticed there are many difficulty modes. Even if you're not a master or extremely familiar with these kinds of games, you can get started on a much more easy difficulty setting. It looks like there's even going to be a one-hit you die mode. That's right, one hit and you die. This game can be approached for people who are extremely familiar with this kind of genre as well. There's actually what you call bullet hell elements in the game. You know that's going to be tough, one hit of those, and then you're dead. Bullet hell refers to dodging numerous projectiles at once. Usually you'd see it often in the old days with arcade and sometimes 2D games. I haven't played through the most difficult mode yet, but from what I hear, the bosses in the demo actually get extra moves. So let me explain a little bit about the demo. It lasts only for about half an hour, yet the demo has so many bosses in it. There's a few mini bosses and then a boss at the end. From what we see in the demo, There aren't too many regular types of fighting enemies. Right now we only see maybe 2 or 3 of them. But man, the bosses are really fun to fight. I hate to say it, but this single demo has more bosses than many of the games I've played this year in 2016. I haven't even seen any quick time events, QTEs. The buttons that come on the screen that you have to mash. I haven't seen that, and I think that's kind of a positive. Nowadays, I see that some games have a habit of doing that too much. Some bosses nowadays are completely quick time events, and that doesn't feel fun at all. I'd rather have a boss that you can actually fight rather than just press a button to win. I don't mind though if they mixed in a few elements of that though, but in this game, I notice it's pure gameplay all the time. What you do, you always are in control of your character, and if you make a mistake, that's your fault. I'm really looking forward to this title. There's a few problems with this demo though. I noticed that the perfect parry, when you dodge a move right when the enemy is about to hit you, it's very lenient, it's extremely easy. In fact, you can mash R2, which is the button that's used for dodging. You can mash R2 with your controller. You can get through the game really easily. You can dodge almost anything by just mashing the button. Otherwise, the gameplay is really solid. It's a lot of fun. Even though a lot of the enemies might be a bit generic, it's fun. If you're not fond of the plot, this will definitely be a game with good gameplay, I think. This demo doesn't actually restrict you in terms of going through the menus. It's not locked. You can actually go through all of the menus in the demo, and if you go through the menus in the demo, you'll see that there's actually a lot of customization abilities. There's so many options, there's so many submenus, and you can tell that in the actual game, you'll be able to customize your character so much. There's so many unlockables, it looks like, in the actual game. There's so much available. And you can easily tell that this game has RPG elements mixed in with the action-adventure elements, because both you and the enemies will both have levels. I'm not sure yet how they're gonna handle it, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to spoil the story specifically, but from the story showed so far in the demo, the characters look very interesting, and so does the world. If you played through the original Nier, you know how depressing the world is in this universe of the game. I'm really looking forward to this game. I think that the developers have been doing a good job so far with the gameplay. It's just a lot of fun. I can replay this demo so many times, and I'm planning to play on one of the harder modes soon. I think that the publishers did a really good job on allowing a public demo for this game. A lot of publishers are just so scared to do that nowadays. This is probably one of the first demos I've played in a few years, because I just don't see them much nowadays. I really think that the publishers are very brave for allowing this demo. And I think that the demo worked in their favor. I think a lot of people see how ambitious the developers are trying to be with this game. And I see a lot of good people. I see a lot of people talking on forums about the game and saying positive things. Not just hardcore fans of the hack and slash genre, no. Even people who want to get into the game. They're even playing all of the old games now too to get into the series. I mean, I just have to give a round of applause to Platinum Games. Like, I'm really looking forward to this one. And I really respect the publisher's decision to allow the demo for everyone, not just a small user base. It's freely available for anyone, no matter what you do. So honestly, I can't wait. I can't wait 2 months. And if you haven't, I recommend you try out the game. Like, maybe this is the game for you. The demo is available, and if you still haven't, please download it. I mean, with me, at first I was kind of scared because I would hear friends criticizing Platinum Games because they didn't like that kind of game. You know, the kind of game where you have to dodge so quickly and you have to mash the buttons and make the combos. Like, it's not for everyone. Like, different people like different genres. A lot of my friends would actually rip on Platinum Games. But for me, Platinum Games is honestly one of the developers I love most nowadays. And I always love to look forward to their games. It's just so much fun. And I think this game is going to be really interesting. Nier and Drakengard, they're not the most well-known franchises. But I think that nowadays, especially with Yoko Taro, one of the big guys in the company, with him wearing his outfit, like, I think that the franchise has gained a lot of notoriety. But I mean, a lot of people are like, who's this guy, They're saying, hey, who is this guy? What kind of games does he develop? And a lot of people are interested in what he has to say and what kind of games this guy develops. These games are really crazy. I wouldn't say that they're as crazy as, like, Suda games. Suda51, he makes the most crazy games. But I'd say that Yoko Taro is like a second to that. Like, a lot of people got so mad at the Drakengard 3 final boss. But enough about that. I'm a big fan of them, and I'm really looking forward to it. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. Thanks.